Welcome to Board Game Empire. We're going to be showing you an overview and review of Ohanami. I believe I'm saying that right. This is a very easy to learn card game. It's a lot of fun. It's a great filler game. We thought it felt like a classic game when we were playing, and we had a lot of fun. It plays very quick. It's 3 rounds, but they go very, very fast in a 2-player game. We've not played this with more than 2 players. So I will go over quickly the overview of how you play this game. So there are cards are numbered 1 through 120, and there's green, pink, blue, and gray for the colors. And the reason though the colors are significant, they score differently at the end of each round. So at the end of round 1, your blues score at 3 points each. At the end of round 2, your blues and greens score. Your blues are worth 3 points, your greens are worth 4. And then at the end of the last round, all the colors score. Blues are worth 3, greens are worth 4 points, grays are worth 7, and then your pinks they can really get you a lot of points based on how many you have in your columns. So I don't know if you can see this, but as you can see, the more you have, the more the points go up significantly. But you don't want to focus only on the pink cards, because that's what Anthony's strategy was, and I ended up beating him because I focused on getting colors so I could score every round. It wasn't like a beating or anything, but I did beat him by like 18 points because I was scoring every round, whereas the first round he didn't score any points because he was focusing on the pink, because you can get up to 120 points if you have 15 more of them, 15 or more. So once you go past 15, it's kind of pointless. So basically you're creating gardens, and you can have 3 columns max. So we deal 10 cards. You shuffle these, deal 10 cards to each player. That's the setup right there. So those were just to show you the colors. So each player keeps 2 cards, and then they pass the hand. In a 2-player game, obviously you're just passing back and forth, but in a 3 or 4-player game, this plays up to 4 players. First round is clockwise, I think second round is counterclockwise, and then so forth. You just flip it back and forth. So you take your 2 cards you held. You can either keep them both, make a column or columns. Remember, you can only have 3 columns max, or you can just discard one or both of them. So I kept the 89 and 88. You don't want to go too much of a difference between the numbers, because what you're doing is you're making columns. So say we're further into the game. So you can't put cards between cards. So I couldn't put a 55 through 56 here. However, if I get a 58, I could put that there. Or if, say, I got a card lower than that, I wouldn't want to go this big of a difference, but the 23, so you either place them above or below based on if they're higher or lower than the number that's either at the bottom or the top. So you're adding both to the top and the bottom, but you just can't put numbers in between. So if I played this 23 on top of this 54, that basically makes the 53 through 22, I cannot put in this column. However, I could still put them on this column or this column. You just it's a balance of colors and sequences of numerical order, and you're just trying to gain the most points at the end of 3 rounds. So you're going to be scoring at the end of every round, like as I explained earlier. So it's a really easy, really fun game. There's a lot of strategy. It's so simple, but yet there's so much strategy that you could do, because you're going to kind of look at what your opponent's looking for or can or cannot use.
Yeah, you can block them, because if there's certain cards that they have to obtain, that if you want pretty much to take the lower or higher cards, also to pretty much block them if you see their cards, because if they can't get cards that will fit higher or lower, then they're stuck.
Yeah.
So
they're going to have to just keep discarding if there's no cards left in that hand.
And that's why Amanda did the last 2 rounds.
Yeah,
the last 2 turns.
It's easier in the 3rd round to do that because by that time your columns are pretty much filled in really well, and you get to the point where there's fewer and fewer numbers that you can use in your columns, or on your columns. So it got kind of easier to, even if I didn't need them, just to keep the cards and discard them rather than adding more to his points. So there is a lot of strategy to this game, and I could see how it would play well even with more players. But it's also a great 2-player game. We had a lot of fun. I didn't feel like anything was missing with less players. So I think this game is a great filler game.
Yeah, it feels like classic, like around the same time period that like Uno and those type of games came out.
Yeah.
So we're going to do a review. So what did you think? The highlights, negatives, like replayability, and like overall total?
Well, I definitely feel this is replayable and a great game to take if you're traveling or going to family members, because it's so easy to teach and so quick to set up. You literally just deal 10 cards to each person. It would be a great game to, if you were going over to a family member's house or something, you play games after you eat dinner or whatever. So it would, great game for that. It's easy to pack because this is it. It would be easy to, if you wanted to take it traveling.
Yeah, it's very lightweight. Or
camping. This is a great game you don't need a lot of space to play it. That makes it even better. I think I loved it. I enjoyed it. It was relaxing and just, I enjoy these type games. So I played a lot of solitaire and pyramids and things when I was younger. So for me, it kind of was nostalgic because it kind of reminded me of those games a lot. I used to play a lot when I was younger. So I think this is a great filler game. And so I would give this definitely an 8. For me, it's an 8. Okay,
so I feel the same way. The replayability is really good. Very light to pack, and so it's very portable. And like me, I was in the military. We played Uno like hundreds of times, poker. If this was out during when I was in the military, I also would have got this and played it. And this is also small enough, and the way you're building the 3 rows or columns, you could also probably play this in the plane. Now, I haven't been in a plane for a while, so I don't know how big those little things are in front of you now. I've heard they've gotten smaller. But you could also probably play in the plane ride, or you could play it in a car, if you're sitting in the back, in the middle aisle. But there's many different, ways you could play it. I think it has enough strategic elements that makes it really fun and replayable. So for me, I'm giving it an 8. I really like it. And I really do think that this is one of those classic games that people that like Uno and poker and all those type of games are going to really enjoy it. So highly recommend it for me. So anything you want to say?
No.
Okay, so that's everything in our review. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Social media is down below in the description. We will have a link where to buy the game, and we'll see you in the next video.